All right, friends, welcome back. Hopefully it just seems like a split second to y'all. It was a few minutes for me while I figured out how to stop recording my screen and to start with this. So here are the two ships that I showed you how I was going to do. And I'm actually in a moment going to be gluing these back to back. And I think that is one of the great things about the Digi Stamps is you have the options of doing cool things like that. So I have printed these out, and let me show you real quickly the paper that I am using. So this will be a little bit longer video because it's a little more technical. All right, so here is the paper that I am using with my color printer. My color printer is a Brothers laser printer. I can put down in the description the exact number of it. It's a Brothers, but I'm not sure exactly the number for it. But it's a Hammermill premium color copy for cover, and it weighs 80 pounds. And this is what I'm using to print my images on. All right, so I have my two ships. I have my circle that's right about 5 inches, maybe just a little larger than 5 inches, but approximately. I have my two flowers where sprays where I flipped one that was this way, and just like we did the ship, I flipped it the other way. Then I have the pocket watch that had the sentiment in it. Then for this little pocket watch, I made it really small. And I made the little blue tag. All right, in addition, I cut out one of the 8x8 squares and cut it down to measure 6x6. And you can really choose any paper that you want. And when I first printed that, it was this size. It was 8x8. And on another video, I will show you how I did that. You have two choices. You can print it out so that the paper fills your whole 8.5 by 11. If you have a printer that will print 12 by 12 paper, then you can have it fill a whole 12 by 12 paper, or you can print it out in the 8 by 8 size. So you do have some choices, and I'll show you how I did that at a later time. So we're going to use this one. Excuse me. And like I said, when excuse me, let me take a drink real quick. So I had to trim it down to be 6x6. So I used some of the piece that I trimmed off. I made two little pieces that measure 1 inch by 4 inches, and I'll show you what we're going to do with those. This piece I just printed out to show you. We will not be using that today. You will also need one piece of white that measures 6x6, just your regular cardstock. See here. This is just a piece of white cardstock that measures 2 inches by 4 inches. And now I'm going to show you the card that we're going to make. It was on the bottom. So here is the card we're going to make, and the ship opens up, and that is our inside. Now you can see I hadn't learned to flip it yet when I made this. So ours will have, this will be the back side of the ship, but on this one I did not. Now my tag goes right up under there, and it's going to say happy graduation, happy retirement. I haven't really decided yet, but this is where I'm going to put my other sentiment, and it'll go right about right there. Okay, so I did use my physical stamps and dies and inking tools and all of that to make the wild roses that you see on there. So I have my pile of wild roses that I've made in advance, and we're ready to get started. And here's a little ship I made that's much smaller. So I thought I'm going to make this one with an A2 with some of my leftover pieces. All right, my colors today that I used both for my flowers and the other images are the Paradise Teal, the Pebble Beach, the Coffee, and the Aquamarine. So that is my color palette for today's card. And I am going to use a little bit of this coffee color to ink up the edges of my background paper. And I think this is a step that you really don't want to skip on some of these digital products. It really just gives it that quality. I don't know. To me, it just needs it. Do you see the difference there? I mean, it really, I think, adds a lot. So I'm not one to skip this step. And sometimes I like to do it pretty heavy. And do it a little darker around the corners. I want it to have a little bit of that aged look, so I'm just letting it get up on my paper. Like I said, I do the corner a little heavier. All right. Takes care of that. Okay, now remember that little piece that was 2 by 4? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score this at 1 inch. Just like that. And go ahead and burnish that. And this is going to be our hinge. Okay, I couldn't think of the word. So I'm going to go ahead and glue one of my pieces right here. And most of this is going to be covered up. All right, when I glue this on, I want to make sure that my crease is hanging over the edge. Don't put it too far this way. If you do, when we add our paper, it won't be able to close. So you need this fold line hinge to be up against this, but not over it. I'm hoping that makes sense. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and add my glue right here. And I'm going to fold that over. There we go. And I put it just maybe a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, maybe 3/4 inch. You can center it if you want to, but I left a little bit of room down here. You don't want to put it all the way to the bottom. Now we're going to add this piece, and I'm going to turn it around like that so the writing is up and down. All right, I may have to trim that off a little bit. I didn't get it very straight. All right, there we go. Had to trim a little edge off. I messed up. Okay, now this little piece we're going to put right over here, making sure to leave our hinge free. Okay, you want to make sure that that can fold easily. So see that? It does fold easily. So I'm going to go ahead and trim just a little of that white off. It doesn't really matter. It's just the, I don't know, I just want to do it. The ship is going to cover that all up. So if it is off a little bit, it's okay. But so far, this is what you should have. All right, so let's add our ship. I'm going to let the bottom hang out, but right here at this top edge of the ship is what's going to attach. So you can see I measured this part of my ship right here, and that's where I came up with my 4 inches. So if you've made your ship a little bigger or a little smaller, that is where I got the size from. So once I add one here, then I'll turn it over and I'll add the other one on the other side. But we're going to go ahead and decorate our inside before we add our ship. So I'm going to start with this circle, and we're just going to build up the layers. I tell you what, working with the digi stamps, and the Digi products, it almost feels like cheating because it's so easy. Now, I suppose if you just cut all these out of a paper pad, it really wouldn't be any different. And I guess that's what we did before, but we had to use dies to cut it out and everything. And I guess just having the computer do that for us, it just, like I said, it feels like I'm cheating. But I'm going to put this one up, and I'm going to go ahead and let those leaves hang off the edge a little bit. I want this to be a dimensional card. Of course, if you're wanting to put it in an envelope or something, you can make sure that those don't hang over. But for me, I wanted it to hang over just a little bit. There we go. Now for this one, I'm actually going to take my scissors, and right over here on the side, I'm just going to make a snip so that it's nice and straight. And that one's going to go right here. Okay. I got to tell you, with the digital versions, I'm a little more free to cut it up because it is so easy to just print out another one, you know, rather than when you have to, you know, make it all. You're a little more choosy on whether you hack it up. But this I have found, not bad. I can do this. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this one, and for this one, I'm going to put some foam behind this one. And I'm not using the super thick foam. This is just kind of a medium foam. About right there. Now, once we stamp our sentiment onto this little tag, I was going to stick the little tag just right up underneath there so it appears that it's attached, and then just glue him down right there. Maybe put a pop dot right behind there. But I wanted my tag to still be hidden by my ship when the card is closed. So I'm not going to do the tag yet because I haven't stamped my sentiment on it. All right, so let's add our ship. And this is the one that I am going to use. So the way I want to do it is add it right on there. Now I'm going to open it up, holding it where I want it. Right there. And I'm going to take my pencil, if I can find my pencil, there it is, and I'm going to trace right here, and that's going to show me where I want my glue so that I don't accidentally get glue out where I don't want it. I'm just going to fill it in with my glue. Oh, sorry if you can't see. There we go. I'm going to lay it right back down here and just lay my piece right back down on there. All right. Now I'm going to take this one. Get some of my trash out. Can you see? Am I in the picture? And I'm going to glue that one right on top. Now, this piece right here is 3 pieces of paper thick. So it will have a little bump, but I'm okay with that because really it's just to add a visual, so that's not just a white back. So I'm okay if it's not, you know, if that has that little bump in there. If you wanted to, you could make a third one and cut it and have your, so that that is thicker right there. But I didn't feel like that was necessary. All right. Line that up. The good thing is that it is the exact same size, so hopefully that just lines up perfectly. Hold that all down. We're ready to add our flowers. Hopefully I got that on straight. It looks like I've got one little place right here. There we go. All right, what do you think? I think that is so cool. I love that little hinge with our big boat on there, and or ship, whatever you want to call that. But this would not have been possible with the older stamps, because this was a really small ship. So isn't that cool? I'm just really loving that. All right, so now I'm going to add some florals. Now on my original, I felt like these were a little too big. So I made some smaller ones. I'm still going to put one larger one on the outside, but up in here I'm going to put smaller ones. So I'm going to start with some leaves. And I'm just going to do this with regular glue. I'm not going to fire up my glue gun today. But normally I probably would have used my glue gun. Oops, let me use this one. Right here. Now, like I said, this is going to be a longer video than my normal, because we went through the computer steps, but as we all master this digital stuff, we won't have to go through that whole process. I may do it a couple times just to help us kind of to get our feet wet and get going. I'm going to put this smaller one right here. And I'll put another little leaf down here. There we go. And now I wanted this little stopwatch to be tucked in here. So I'm going to pop that up. So I wanted the body popped up, but I want the little chain part to be glued down. And I'm going to tuck it right up in there and then glue down that part. All right, and just to finish this off, I'll add a couple more leaves up in the corner. And add a couple of these smaller flowers up in this other corner. And one of these baby ones. All right. There we go. We have two of our ship cards. You can see on this one it was a little larger, so I did downsize it just a little bit. It looks like I got my boat a little crooked, but overall I am loving how this card turned out. And then of course this one. And then on this one we've got that cool inside where the boat goes both ways. And our tag will go right there once I choose a sentiment. So all right, I'm going to go ahead, switch my camera back. Thank you so much for being with me, hanging in here. I know it took a while. I hope the computer stuff kind of helped you. Do send in your questions, and if I can help you with them, I certainly will. And then, of course, the team at Heartfelt, they're still there to help anybody that has any questions. So I hope you're having a lovely time, and I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.